Hello, and welcome to this iMovie tutorial. I will be explaining the different features on iMovie and how to use it to create your class project. We will start with a basic walkthrough of the key sections and icons of iMovie. Then we will look at how to add images, voiceovers, music, and video to your presentation. We will then look at editing features for your iMovie project. Finally, we will look at how to export an iMovie project. When you open up iMovie, it looks like this. You will notice that there are three major windows. On the top right-hand side is the viewer. This will allow you to check out what your movie looks like at any given point. On the top left-hand side is the project library. This is where you will store all the footage that goes into your project. On the bottom right-hand side is the movie editor. This is where you can edit video from YouTube. And on the bottom left-hand side is the event library. This tells you the most recent events that you have completed. In the middle of the page is the toolbar. This stores all the editor functions. I will walk through these as we create the movie so that you can see how they work. Now the first thing we need to do is to create a new project. Up here in the project library is where we're going to do this. We go up to File, we click on New Project, and when this pops up, you're going to notice that there are a lot of backgrounds you can choose. You can go ahead and do this, but I don't really find them all that helpful. I'm going to go ahead and type in my new project name, which is going to be Star Wars. Go ahead and create it. And now I can work up in my project library to create this project. Okay, the very first big hint for building a project is to create folders to store information for future work. As you can see, I'm a little obsessed with Star Wars. Up at the top of the left-hand side, you will notice that I have three folders that I store my work in. I have my iMovie script. This just helps me to create a script that I can use eventually for my background and my overlay of voice. iMovie Star Wars Pictures and iMovie Star Wars Videos. This allows me to know where to look for events to add to the project, and it helps to keep me organized. The first thing I'm going to do is add my pictures. I'm going to be doing this project on Star Wars, so I already went in and I got some Star Wars pictures from Google Images. As you can see, I got 4 of them. So this is really easy. All I have to do is take my images, drag them into my project library, and it automatically adds them. Next, I want to edit my images. To do this, I click on the image until I see this yellow box that forms around the image. This is going to allow me to edit that image. Up here in the top left-hand corner, you're going to notice that there is a gear icon. When I click on that, I get a number of choices: Precision Editor, Clip Adjustments, Video Adjustments, and Cropping, Ken Burns, and Rotation. I'm going to click on Cropping, Ken Burns, and Rotation. Here's why. I now have the ability to crop this picture so that it will be able to move in a dramatic way as the movie goes forward. You'll notice that there's a start box and there's an end box. I'm going to take this start box and I'm going to move it up to the top of Anakin Skywalker's head while having the end box show the entire picture. I then press Done. And you'll notice that when I play the video, I start off with Anakin Skywalker and then I move into the entire picture. This allows for a more dramatic effect to the overall picture. There's one other thing I want to show you for the future for this video, and that is clip adjustments. You're going to notice in clip adjustments that there's a duration time for this clip of 4 seconds. This is going to be important. We may need to change that time when we do voiceover. If our voiceover is longer or shorter than 4 seconds, depending upon what effect we want, we may want to change that time eventually to match the voiceover, go slightly over the voiceover, or slightly under it. Okay, so now let's add in a voiceover. Go to the toolbar in the middle of the page. Note the microphone icon. Make sure you are clicked onto a picture or a clip. Now click on the microphone icon. And when you do, you're going to hear a countdown. Once we have that, we can create a voiceover. Now, if I had wanted this voiceover to go further into the next clip, I would have to go ahead and click on more of the pictures and have the yellow box overlay as many pictures as I wanted for that voiceover. Now, this is where that clip adjustment becomes really important. I don't really want my voiceover to go for the exact amount of times as my picture. I want the picture to be a little bit longer than that, and that way I can make sure that the voiceover finishes and the clip keeps going for the effect. So I'm going to go ahead and change to 5 seconds for my picture, and you'll notice now that my picture runs longer than my voiceover. This will allow for more of a dramatic effect of what I'm trying to say. Now, let's go ahead and add some music to underlay all of this. In order to do that, I'm going to go back to my toolbar in the middle of the page, and this time I'm going to go to the clef bar icon. I have a number of options that I can use here in order to play music or have sound effects. I'm going to choose my iTunes, and I'm going to choose Star Wars from my iTunes, the main title. I click on that, I drag it up to the picture, and now I have some music. Now, there is one problem here. I don't want my Star Wars music to be too loud because I want people to hear my voiceover. So I can go to my music. It has an icon, a gear icon as well. I click on that down to audio adjustments, and you'll notice here for ducking, I can go ahead and click on this and provide it with more volume or less to make sure that it doesn't overwhelm the voiceover that I have done. I press done, and that way I'm sure that while the music is playing in the back, people can hear what I said in my voiceover. Okay, now I want to put a title slide onto my project. The way we're going to do that is to go down to the toolbar on the right hand side until we find the T icon. When you click on the T icon, you are going to get all these options for titles. I want to choose the one that's like Star Wars, so I'm going to choose the Far, Far and Away slide. Now, there's a little bit of a problem. If I take the Far, Far and Away slide and put it onto my first clip, all it's going to do is overlay that slide onto the clip. I don't want that. I want the title page to be separate from my first clip. So, in order to do this, iMovie's a little bit inflexible with this. In order to do this, we are going to go back to that toolbar, far right hand side to the globe. Now when you click on the globe, this is really meant to be a map icon where you can drop in maps. But you'll notice if you scroll down about halfway, you're going to see this black slide right here. I'm going to take that, put that right, drag it right before my first clip, and now I have a title slide that is blank. If I go back to my T, I can go ahead and take that Far, Far and Away slide, and I can overlay it on the black slide. And when I do that, I'm going to get a title page. Now, the way they've set up the title page is that there's a whole bunch of Latin and it's wording that I don't really need or want to use. So I can just come in here, highlight all that, delete it, and go ahead and type in whatever I want. So I'm going to call this my iMovie tutorial, and I'll type in, this is my iMovie for Star Wars project. However, I really don't like the way this looks. I want it centered and I want a different font. So I come up to here to show fonts. I'm going to choose American Typewriter, red, 9, and I can choose to center it. Then I just press done, and it doesn't look all that great. I want to edit this a little bit, but I can do that. It's not a big problem. So I'm just going to go ahead and center that, press done, and now I have my separate title page. Okay, finally I want to add some movie from YouTube to the project. I need to get a video and convert it to QuickTime to do this. So I went and I found a video from Star Wars and the Family Guy. I went up here and I copied and I pasted the URL, and then I went to a site called KeepBid. Now, one little suggestion on KeepBid, you want to try and use KeepBid on Safari. I find that if I try and use Firefox or if I use Chrome, it doesn't work quite as well. If you go to KeepBid, and if you go ahead and paste in that URL and then download it, you're going to get it downloaded into a whole bunch of possible formats. I suggest using download MP4. Now we need to go ahead and import that video into our project, and it's really easy to do it. Go on up to File, go down to Import, go to Movies, and then you just go ahead and you import it, and when you do, you're going to notice that it's down in the bottom section of the movie editor. So I really don't want to have all of this movie inside of my project. So we're going to deal with it just the same way that we would with the editing up on the top. Go ahead and click on it, bring that yellow box up, and I'm going to bring it down to the beginning of the video, and then all I have to do is delete it, and it gets rid of all that. I also want to get rid of all this section down here. There's only a small portion that I really want to use. Once I'm done with this, all I have to do is grab my YouTube video, bring it up to my project up here, and it will go ahead and put it in. Next, you're going to want to know how to create transitions. Transitions are great for having a seamless part of your presentation between different clips or movies. We're going to create a transition between our last clip and the beginning of our YouTube movie. In order to do that, go down to the toolbar to the right-hand side, in between the T icon and the globe icon, and you will find a transitions icon. Now I'm going to take one of these transitions, the fade to black, and I'm going to put that in between our last picture and the beginning of our YouTube video. All I have to do is pick it up, drag it over, and place it in between. What that's going to do is it's going to allow for a very clear and seamless presentation where I'm just going to fade out of that picture and into my YouTube.
You to join the top.
So that's the last part of editing. I'm sure you're going to want to know how to share your video now to the outside world. The way to do that is just go up to the toolbar at the top of the page, press on Share, go down to Export Video Movie, and then you're going to choose either large or medium. I'm going to go ahead and choose large. You're going to export it, and it's going to go ahead and prepare your project so that you can attach it up to the internet. You can send it out over email. You can save it and send it out to whomever you need to. So that's how you create an iMovie project. Good luck with future endeavors in creating it, and I'm sure you're going to make some really great projects.